Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, organics of all ages, I'm Double R, and in this video of the master class of character creation, we are going to discuss how to gain and maintain your muse for your character. This is more so for role players, so take that with a grain of whatever. I'd say a grain of salt, but let's be honest, not how that works. That said, we first need to define the word muse used in context of this video. Muse, sorry I just had to, but muse is the inspiration of, or to keep the energy up on your character in this case. Now some definitions of muse come back to saying that the character is the muse. We're not worried about that. We're worried about the inspiration to ensure that you, as the role player, play your character, or you, as the writer, want to write within that headspace of that character. Mainly, for role-playing and writing fan fictions and things of that knowledge, you need to have a level of muse in the beginning. To state this, write short fan fictions, write character statuses, write little things like that to build your muse up. Get people to see how the character is. This is very important for when you want to write longer stories or role play with a character. You want to have stuff established. A lot easier than just popping up history on the fly. Trust me on that one. Status updates, definitely an easy thing to do. Just put something out there that your character would do or say, and just throw it out there. No harm, no foul, nothing to really stress about, no real problems. The benefits of doing so is to keep your mind within that headspace so you can write for that character. In terms of writing fan fiction, same logic. It's allowing you to get the idea of the world they're from, the world they live in, the rules of the universe, all those nice little details that might be skipping out on you initially. Now, one of the things that is very easy to do, take a couple questionnaires, interviews, whatever, and write the responses as the character. Not as yourself, not as you would think the character would respond. No. Write in terms of that character. If you're role-playing Bruce Wayne, then write in terms of Bruce Wayne. You follow what I mean? If someone's interviewing, say, Bruce, you're going to answer as Bruce. You're not going to answer as yourself on how you feel Bruce would answer. Pretty simple, right? Just picture a normal interview between two people. Your character is one, the interviewer is the other. Write it as a short fanfic. There you go. Open storylines or allowing other people to come in, especially on random statuses for a role player, is a good thing. This opens up more character relationships. And I don't mean relationship as in, oh, Johnny. No, I mean like family, friends, enemies, rivals, the whole nine. This permits you to open up that whole little tier of things to worry about. And you can add that to a little list of knowledge and whatever for your character later. Very good for OCs. Not so much of a worry for canon characters for obvious reasons. But again, we are trying to develop a character from the ground up. So, that said, let's move on to the final point on building muse, and then we'll go after the things that can detract from said muses. There are 3 steps to maintain a higher level of muse, and can get you a lot of character development done in shorter terms than worrying about other people jumping in on storylines or things of that nature. And those 3 steps, from a video I made a while back, long while back, before this channel, a while back, is premise, development, evolution. 3 things. Premise. Premise is the groundwork. That is the core information that you're using for the character to start off with. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Development. Development comes through storylines, fan fictions, little things that you've written that you want to incorporate in the story of the character themselves. That is the development side. And after said development is the evolution of the character, which is the new way the character carries themselves. If they gain a new power, if they gain a new outlook, whatever. That is the evolution. Thusly, their new premise comes from the evolution. And then you can start the cycle all over again with that new premise. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now we are going to discuss the muse killers. Things that pretty much axe your character or the muse for your character. The first major problem, of course, is creating a character for someone else. This is a big problem that a lot of people tend to have. They like their friends, they want their friends to be happy, and their friends suggest, hey, can you make a character for me? And they go, sure, why not? And they make a character, but they're not feeling anything.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs? Art thou feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
So they make this character, and of course, when the person's done with their character, or it's not as high of a muse as they thought, and they drop that character, now you have a person here with a character they didn't really want to make, but they made it for their friend, and now, what do they do with this character? Nothing, it's sidelined. That's one of the big things that can kill a muse for a character real quick. So, rule one, don't make a character for someone. If you really want to, that's fine, that's dandy, that's your decision. But remember, if you're going to make a character for someone, you should make it for yourself. It should be a character that you've been thinking about making, but you didn't really want to. You didn't see any point to. And you can use that as an excuse to make that character. You follow what I'm saying? Don't do it just to do it. Don't do it because they ask you to do it. Do it as like one of 3 excuses that you wanted to make in the first place. You wanted to make the character, but you didn't feel there was any bursts, fandom, whatever for them. You didn't feel like anyone would interact. But now you got someone who says they're going to guarantee it. Then go ahead. That's a 3rd excuse. That's down the line. But don't make it solely because they ask you to. Because 9 out of 10 times when you do that solely for them, and they drop that character, you're up a creek because you might have started liking that character in the first place. You've been working on it. You're feeling good about it because now you got something you can attach to it. You're good. You're feeling great. And then, gone. The other person is gone. And now you have nothing left. That's one major problem. A second problem that arises from this is the group storyline. You're role-playing with 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 28, whatever people, and then certain folks start leaving. Key figures in the storyline start leaving. But it's a storyline that helps your character, but now you can't do anything because key components of the storyline have left. If you base your character on one sole storyline, that's a problem. Don't do that. You'll lose muse quickly if that storyline doesn't stay put. If it dissolves, if it goes away, there's a problem. Now you're stuck with a character you don't want because there's no storyline. There is a major problem that arises when you make a character too far from your depth. Too far. Like if you're a passive person naturally in life, if you make someone too aggressive, you're not going to want to play that character because they're too far out of your range. You see what I'm saying? If they're too far out of your range, you're not going to want to play it.
What?
Oh, nothing. It's just, you always get to be the bad cop. I thought maybe this time, I could be the bad cop.
All right, Deadshot. We need a name, and we want it right now.
Oh, whoops. A little too hard. Sorry, Batman,
I mean, that's nothing compared to what I'm about to do to you, Deadshot.
It's going to throw you off. Now, some role players and some writers will take this as a personal challenge to get used to that character, get into that character, get going, and have a fun time. That's all fine and good. But a lot of people, from the beginning, will not be able to go from 0 to 100 real fast. They can't do that. You've probably heard of people who have multiple characters, and when they jump between characters, they can't do it. They literally tell you, I cannot get out of that headspace. I can't. Because one character is too much out of their range. They have to get into that headspace before they can roleplay. This applies across the board. Remember, If a character is too far out of your range, try not to make that character. Try not to roleplay that character. But if you feel you have to, then build into it. Alright? Now let's say you make a character and you're talking with a lot of your friends, but suddenly you realize you're in a group, or a roleplay group, or a clique, and you're talking amongst each other, but you notice something. Nothing's really being done in character. In fact, your talks out of character seem to apply in character rationale and logic, or issue 3. This is a problem, because a lot of people will do the same thing in these kind of groups. One person of this group does not like someone else entirely, the whole group has to never roleplay with that person, or they get shunned out of the group. The clique will just chuck them out. That's bad, because now it limits you from writing with anyone else. This also has a problem of not developing your character properly. People use outside information, they'll cross-game, meta-game, whatever. They'll do all these little things to push something else and contort your character to the will of the group.
Then she must feel the will of the machine.
This is a problem all on its own, because now you don't really have responsibility or control of your character. You're going via the group. And on the point 1 that I stated earlier, it comes back here as well. A lot of members of a group or a clique will oftentimes DM you out of character, you know, solo to solo, one-to-one, writer to writer, and they'll be asking you to make characters for them. Oh, can you make such and such a character? I want to have a relationship between these two characters. I want to push this ship. I want to do this. I want to do that. They're going to be pushing that a lot more in cliques and in roleplay groups for whatever reason. I don't understand, but they do. Why? Reasons, I guess. So that said, what you should do is make the character for yourself. We're all back here. You see how it goes full circle. Now, I get what some of you are thinking. I'm in a roleplay group and I never had that problem. Okay. Are you the superstar of the roleplay group? Are you the mascot? Are you the princess? Are you the pope? Are you the president? Are you the king? What I mean by this is, does the group revolve around you? And if something happens, does the group defend you? I don't mean you defending another member. I mean defending you. If not, then that's why you're not getting these DMs or whatever. You're a bonus actor. You're a side character to their story. And that's how they're going to see you. Keep that in mind. Now, if you're in a clique or whatever, that's fine. Have those discussions. Have those talks. So you keep things under control. After all, you don't want things to mess up, right? You don't want things to dissolve. Which goes to the whole thing about dating, actor to actor, role player to role player, writer to writer. Dating and then putting your characters together, or vice versa. Your characters are dating and then you're... Don't do those. Don't do those. Don't do those. Now let's talk about the last major problem that pops up and can kill Muse real quick. The Type 2 and or the Identitarians. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Type 2 role players have this issue where they feel you, the writer, you. Whatever your character does, you endorse it. You know it. If you take a character and their name is Dr. Shepard, the way they see it as Type 2 is you, the writer. You are Dr. Shepard. You. No, don't argue. You, as the writer, you are Dr. Shepard. You have the PhD. You have the knowledge. You are that person. Nah. But there's a group of role players and identitarians as well who do this. They will grab a hold of a character, and anything a character does, they say you endorse it. Because that's you. Whatever your character does, that's what you do. No. No, sir. No. We've gone over this in many, many videos. Anakin killed younglings. Hayden Christensen did not kill the actors that were the characters of the younglings. No, the actors were fine. Hayden Christensen is fine. In fact, this picture, that's one of the younglings. But not in character. That's the actor for one of the younglings and Hayden Christensen. They're fine. The problem with identitarians and type 2 type folks will be that problem right there. Anakin killed kids, so Hayden Christensen must be promoting kid killing. No, it's a character. That's it. Stop it. Get some help. And then when you have any combination of these things coming together, yeah, your muse drops quickly. Rapid fire. So, as a reminder, if you are going to make a character and make a universe and write stories, whatever, do it for yourself first. This is totally different than if you are joining an industry where you are to tell stories to the masses. If you're trying to take a mantle of a well-known character and tell stories to the masses, this is a different situation. This is roleplay. Role players are solely for themselves. Role players are solely for themselves in this case. They are the ones that write the stories for themselves. They don't have a established audience to pander to, unlike, say, DC, Marvel, etc. There's that difference right there. So for role players, they have that leeway. But if you are taking the mantle of a character and you're writing for them, that's a whole different story when it's on official terms. You follow? Official terms is different than role play. That's like saying professional baseball and your school time baseball and just playing stickball outside with somebody are all the same. Similar rules, but there is a bit of a leniency across the board depending on what degree you go, right? I hope that's clear. And yes, I'm going to start doing more videos for the masterclass for obvious reasons. So with that said, I'm Double R. I'm out. Y'all have a good time role-playing, and keep these things in mind. They're not absolute, but they're pretty common, and you'll have more fun if you are following these a bit closer than, say, making a character because someone in your clique decided you should make them a sex partner. Just saying. Double R out.